What, the testing?
The testing and continue testing
the
for
test,
an
yeah.
hour or so.
Yeah, see, did anybody have... I don't know if anybody had any headphones or earbuds in at all. Can't tell if Ben did or not on the other lives.
Oh.
There we go. Got it.
I still don't see it live quite yet on YouTube.
I was like, go to the YouTube. Go to YouTube. I got a notification. It was live.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to our channel.
That's what I'm doing, fella.
Go to the live.
Maybe it is. I'm working on it.
You're saying it's not there, and I'm like, if you're on the page.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me.
First time.
There it is.
Are we live yet?
We're live. Yeah. We're live. We have started.
There we go.
We have
Welcome.
started. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. It's like, yo. Welcome back to Banter with the Boys, Gridiron updates.
Oh, let's go live on Facebook too then.
Going live here on YouTube, going live on Facebook as well, wherever you're listening to the Banter right now. But Rob, welcome back for another week, of course. We've made it through the entire season without me firing you.
Thank you, and me not swearing, so we'll call it multiple wins. So
That's true.
We're down
That's
to
true.
one,
Great job.
down to the one final game. So
The big game.
the big game.
The big game.
At the
That's what we call it here.
Superdome.
Yeah, that's what we call it here on Banter with the Boys, the big game.
Yeah, you got to watch those trademarks around here these days.
Got to watch out for the shield.
Exactly.
But
They'll come and get you, and the Strouds.
so bear with us tonight. We might have some technical difficulties. We don't know. We're giving this a go for the first time. We're hoping that we're going to get some guests here. So again, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook Live,
Yeah, throw
Yellow,
a text.
comment. Ask us for the link, and we'll
It's
throw
on.
you the Google Meet link.
Yeah.
It's live, and
It's on the Facebook in the message. The meet. link.
okay,
So-
sure.
You can have access to that. So,
So if you come on, talk about your favorite team. Tell us what moves they need to make here in the off season or what have you. Is there a big free agent you want your team to sign, stuff like that. So, but before we get into that, Rob, let's of course recap these championship games.
let's do it.
Kev, I'm assuming this is just straight through. So
We're ripping
just
live.
making sure, well, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have our cool transitions that people are used to.
True.
In our
There is
our
a fandom
other
of
videos.
them.
Right. Anyway, so with that, let's start with that first game, number 6, Washington Commanders, traveling to the number 2 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles getting, I dare do it. Eagles getting a commanding win over the Commanders, but it was closer earlier on though. Obviously, after Scary Terry got that big touchdown in the second quarter,
Yep.
I thought for sure, the Commanders were going to battle back a little bit, but.
They had a chip and cherry. I was that 2-point conversion that they didn't succeed on.
Correct.
Unlike a lot of Eckler's plays, they just
Eckler was not as
game-changing.
game-changing is a good way to put it. I was going to say electric, but yeah, game-changing as he was the week prior.
Yeah. And
Right there it is, actually. I happen to be seeing it at the moment. There's the 2-point that Eckler did not get. Just stuffed immediately.
so then after that, I think Philly went back down, and Philly scored the next 2 touchdowns, and then after that, the game just started, But, I mean, you can see the difference. The very first play of the game, we talked about this last week, was Carter and Davis getting after. And Carter got a sack. Well, I don't know if he got officially the sack, but he had the pressure on Daniels to turn into a sack the very first play.
I mean, and the defense doing exactly what, doing exactly what we talked about all season. They've been coming together now for the past few years. Obviously, almost half the defense out of Georgia, so they
They're
already
good.
knew each other, and now they're clicking at the highest level. And there's
young.
a reason why they're going to be in the Super Bowl, and young.
Very young.
Again, guys like N'Kobe Dean missing from that as well, and it does. Obviously he will not be back
And Brandon
for
Graham.
the Super Bowl. Brandon Graham could possibly be back for the Super Bowl. I think there's an outside shot of that.
I could see him doing it because how many more seasons does he have left? I bet you he gives it a run. If there's a roster spot, he's got to been in the league for 10, 12 years at this point, isn't he? Who else knows
It's
on the
been a
internet?
minute.
Anyone know this?
Where's our Eagles fan?
Yeah.
But yeah, join the link if you want to hop in here and tell us. Maybe you caught one of these games. Maybe Brandon Graham. I mean, he's sitting here at 36 years old.
Ooh, 36. So that's probably 12 league if he came in as 24. I can see that. But isn't, back to the,
He's been there forever too.
defensively, they just rush 4. They don't have to blitz often, so they can sit back in coverage. And, I mean, when you're dropping 8, it just makes it really difficult to complete a lot of passes. And you got to kind of do the dunk. But their skill set is they come at the ball and attack so hard, and they're solid tacklers. They just don't get many broken tackles out of the Eagles' defense. And they just suffocated Jalen Daniels a little bit, almost, most of the game,
Well, and I think there lies part of the need for the Commanders going forward. Looking at next season, you wonder what they can add. And
I see you, Kevin, on there.
I would imagine. Oh, thanks, Kev. I would imagine they would like at least one more target for Jaden Daniels offensively.
Yo, for sure. I mean, I thought that was the glaring thing of probably why I picked, the Eagles over them is I don't think they had enough weapons on offense that were quick like game changers other than Scary Terry. I want to give a shout out to
Good
Zach.
for Scary Terry, by the way.
Yeah,
he's been there for a minute now, and hanging out and hanging in there, and now they got a chance.
Now
play
they got a
NFC
chance.
championship game, and you have plenty to build on.
True, but now you have to go against this Eagles defense is young too in the same division too. So that's another thing. But yeah, they need another receiver. I was gonna give a shout out to Zach Ertz. He had another solid year.
Allegedly trying to come back next year with the Commanders. He wants to run it back.
But there was a cool scene afterwards in the tunnel with him with Brandon Cox.
Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox, because he played with the Eagles in the last Super Bowl.
Was Ertz there?
No, maybe he wasn't, because
Since-
it was Dallas Goedert. I remember had a really decent Super Bowl, but maybe he was that when he was hurt, and that's kind of when Goddard came out.
Well, I can't remember.
I know we have people on the internet that probably
can't
look this
remember.
stuff up, but
But wasn't Ertz in Philly for definitely the start of his career, wasn't it?
yeah, I would say for the
And then he
portion.
went to
he went
Arizona
to Arizona
for like a year or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
and but he had some injury issues, I think, in the last few years, and I think this is almost first full year back, not being injured really.
For sure.
So
Well, you mentioned the defense, the reason why you went with the Eagles this week. Part of my reasoning was obviously Saquon Barkley. I agree with the defense.
he's a big factor.
And obviously, yes, he had a good game. Yes, that's the safe, easy pick, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Saquon's going to have a great game. But the Eagles' O-line honestly had a great game. 7 rushing touchdowns. I mean, yes, you can argue the tush-push, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Do you think that should be banned? I don't think so. But
I'm actually starting to like it for some reason now, because now it's just back to there's so many other things in football that are so soft that I'm like, this is actually the one part of football is still like mano. Let's see who can get the job done.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. No, I don't think it should be banned at all.
I'm
like
a defensive-minded guy.
It's annoying. It's annoying. Like
It's annoying
Like
that-
if you're playing it, it's coming on 4th and 1, and you're probably not going to stop it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to really, stop that yet. But people are calling for it to be banned, of course, today. But
I mean, if I was going to ban anything on it, it'd be the players pushing you.
which I thought that was already a thing.
I thought it was bad, but
obviously, it must be a gray area.
you can't pull them. You can push them.
Can you though? Like I thought,
Yep.
with 2 hands, you can.
Well,
push
maybe
the
it was
player
in
with 2
college.
hands
I thought I
into the-
just saw that play happen lately that they called the penalty on it. I could be totally
No,
wrong.
because I think during the college championship, I thought I saw an Ohio State offensive lineman literally pick up, and maybe this was NFL, but I thought it was the national championship, pick up the running back and bring him into the end zone
maybe,
with him.
yeah.
And it wasn't called. Like
Okay,
it
so
stood,
maybe it's
but I don't
legal.
know.
Maybe I thought it was a penalty, and that's why they were.
I don't know.
replaying
Let us
it.
know. Let us know
Yeah.
if you think the tush push or the
Educate
brotherly
me.
shove,
Yeah.
if you will, needs to be outlawed in the NFL. But yeah, Jaden Daniels honestly having a great season. I'm sorry, wait a minute. We were already talking about the Eagles. I want to stay on the Eagles for a minute.
Yep.
We already talked enough about the Commanders. We know Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, yep. But no, the Eagles' offensive line honestly carried them. 7 rushing touchdowns. That's a postseason record, if I remember right. I thought I took a note of that, but
Yeah, I mean, offensive lines.
yeah. It's a record. It ties the 1940 Bears with the most rushing touchdowns in a playoff game with 7, and that just shows you. That's why I like the tush push a little bit, because it just shows you, the game's kind of going back to its roots of a ground and pound
Yep.
type of game in a day and age where Just air raid. It feels.
Well, I know we've been talking about it's like the year of the running backs. Like they're back. They're like their value is way has risen. So man, us Vikings fans have been talking about the Gentry out of Boise State. As because we need a running back.
Yeah.
Especially if Aaron Jones doesn't stay. But
we'll get to the Vikings.
We'll
have
get
our
to it.
We'll have our moment with the Vikings tonight because I do have some questions with you about that.
Yeah, but I mean, Philly, they run that RPO. It's tough. With Barkley, it's even tougher. And then Jaden Hurst can still run the ball. And
Barkley's speed is just what sets it off for me.
It is. He is, and he's
the
really
start
tough.
stop is
He's
ridiculous.
tough to bring down too. You can't arm tackle him at all.
No. He's ridiculously slippery.
We're watching the stats of the game over here, or the highlights of the game as we're chit chatting here.
Well, what a catch by Devontae Smith too late. A lot of people calling that wasn't a catch, but I mean, if you look at the still, his feet are inbound. I mean, it's a great catch.
It looked like a good catch from what I saw of it.
There's the tush push right there. How would you stop that? I mean, that's just
you stop him before you get there.
That push is ridiculous. I mean, the O line is enough already. You don't even need the guys to push Jalen right there on that one we just saw.
I know it's back,
and that's why back to the O line having a great game for me.
It is, but it's also the NFL's been getting smaller and quicker because it's a passing league. It's those linebackers are not as big as they used to be.
I would agree. Yeah,
I mean, Ray Lewis would not be a middle linebacker in the NFL anymore.
He'd probably be. They might try him as an edge rusher, and even then, he might not have enough speed for that. So now he's playing a fast D tackle maybe. Or something. But
it'd be really. Otherwise, he'd just slim down.
You're right. Like the linebackers changed. The last solid one maybe was like Luke Kuechly that I think could have still made it, but still deliver a hit and fill the run like nobody's business. But you're right. I mean, I guess, do I dare say the frame of the player that you're looking for to play linebacker has absolutely changed.
Oh, it's
at
absolutely
all levels.
At all levels. And then everyone's running more of a 4-3 or 3-4 defense now.
The game is so fast.
So it's just a little different. Yeah, the game is way fast.
Like you said on your all 22 stuff. I mean, you can just see the speed of the game. It's just
they're just crossing the screen as a blur, and you're like, what? I'm watching all 22. The speed's there. So, but yeah, Phillies, they're a tough team. They're a really tough team. I think, honestly, they're probably better than last Super Bowl.
I think so too. I think this is going to be a really interesting game.
It's going to be really good. So, and I rewatched the last Super Bowl game, and both teams are pretty similar to who they were before.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles on defense are younger and different, but offensively, they're kind of the same, other than Barkley.
Other than Saquon, I mean, that's going to be a huge difference.
And Jason Kelsey, but I feel like whoever's playing center for them is filled in real nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't even know who that is. But hopefully they have Landon Dickerson as well. Nick Sirianni came out today and had no update on his injury, so that'd be a big loss for them.
Yeah, it would. I mean, we saw that in this game of the right guard Comey out for the Commanders. I almost dropped our word there. Cosme, sorry.
Samuel. Nah, okay, sorry. I can't call him Samuel. I gotta reserve that for Darnold.
Okay. It's been reserved.
He frustrated me.
So, but yeah, it was. I don't even know what I was talking about now.
I'm sorry. We were talking.
Oh, we just saw the effects of the injury.
Dickerson,
Yeah. And that's where.
I mean, look at the Vikings losing Darisaw halfway through the season. I mean, it's a big difference.
It is a big difference. Even though I thought Cam Robinson actually filled it pretty well.
He's going to sign a good deal this offseason.
Yeah, he's going to get paid somebody for. Yeah, he was a nice little rental for Darisaw's. I guess it was the Rams. I remember that game.
Ugh, I know. That was another game we could have won and won face mask in the end zone. Don't even get me started. Anyway, let's move on. But Eagles getting the win, 55-23. We'll go to the Super Bowl to face the winner of the AFC, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs, getting the win over the Bills, 32-29. We'll talk about the Chiefs in a second, but for the Bills, it's just sheer heartbreak again. Again.
Yeah, I saw a stat that I thought was really interesting. This is the 5th year in a row. It's an NFL record for the Bills to win a playoff game and not make the Super Bowl. 5 years in a row. They've won at least one.
So
as a fan,
that must be rare then. When you win at least one playoff game in a 5-year span, you probably make the Super Bowl at least once. You're saying?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of percentages, you know.
Yeah, okay.
It's like
sure.
20%. You would think one of those times you would make it, but they ran into a team that's setting their own records by themselves
and cementing themselves as a dynasty. Going for a record-setting 3 in a row. But
I mean, because this could easily be, what is it, his 5th Super Bowl? Mahomes.
Yeah, this is their 5th appearance in the last 6 years. Yeah.
But it could have been easily 6 because the year they were in the AFC Championship against Joey Burrow, and that game came down to a field goal. So
not to go on just a sidebar tangent here. Does Joey B get a Super Bowl before Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, 2 guys that have had their opportunities already? I mean, Joey B did too. He was in the game too and lost, right? So
yeah.
Who gets one first out of those 3?
Well, the reason I would say the Bills are going to always have a better shot at it is because I think they play in the weaker division right now. But the NFL flips pretty quick. So, like with the Bengals, I mean, would you consider them even the second best team in that division right now?
In the Bengals division?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough division.
Exactly.
That's a tough division. I mean, the way they ended the season, right? But that's easy to say now, right? Well, the way they ended the season, yeah, Bengals over Steelers for sure, with how the Steelers played in the playoffs. But you know what I mean? If we're talking about the start of next season, who knows? Depending on who's playing quarterback for the Browns, Kirk Cousins, depending on who's playing quarterback for the Browns, they could have a completely different season too with their defense that they have.
Yep.
Myles Garrett still wants to play there as long as he's not part of a rebuild. So, I don't know.
Defensively, I think
it's a tough division.
Yeah, it is very tough.
I think it's one of the toughest divisions in football right now.
And I think Kevin Stefanski said he's going back to playing the calls or calling the plays in Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's his job's on the line. I feel like this is his hot seat.
Are they going to
here.
run Jameis?
I don't know.
All right, tangent over about the Browns.
They might get Samuel for you.
Yeah. But back on the Bills, Josh Allen, man, he was looking pretty sad at that presser. The first question he gets asked is like, Josh, your emotions right now, how are you feeling? Like, what? Like, he's like, we came out and didn't do enough against the defending champions and we lost. Like, what? Like, I kind of hate that, man. Like,
yeah,
when you put so much into the game and you care so much, and that goes for most of the NFL players. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody right now, but now everybody's like, if I'm getting paid $40 million to talk to somebody, I'll talk to somebody when I lose my leg. But
yeah,
that's one of the comments I saw on Bookface today.
Oh wow, someone really went deep in their thoughts there.
Oh, there's a lot of people in their feelings in NFL pages today, like about everything.
Well, I know, and I saw the catch in this game that everyone's questioning about whether, who was it even from? Was it Worthy? The one catch that was contested and they replayed, and they both kind of caught it at the same time. You don't remember that play? It was pretty important game.
I don't know why I'm not remembering that play.
So that was a big one I saw through the interweb.
Was that first half or second half?
I believe it was first half.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway,
but they went down and scored, I think, on that. But it was a good game. Like, it came down to 3 points again. It does suck for. I really want Josh Allen to win, even though he's probably not going to win the MVP either. So
had an MVP-like season, but so did Lamar Jackson.
Exactly. So, but it's back to the salary cap. The Bills. I definitely need a one receiver. The tight end. I don't know what was up with the tight ends there in Buffalo this year. Neither of them did really well.
Dalton Kincaid still has a lot of upside for me. Yes, I know he dropped the big fourth down. You know what I mean?
Well, not even that, but the whole year he was. I know he was injured.
He was
a little
injured
bit.
to start.
I had him
the
on
season.
fantasy, so I kind of was following him. I ended up dumping him like week 7 of their bye week or something like that. But yeah, they're just missing one. I think.
Oh, I remember this play.
Right there it is. Yeah,
the Xavier Worthy play. I mean.
It was a tough. I could see where they say either way.
The tie goes to the offense always. Unfortunately, it's like baseball. Tie goes to the runner because the league wants to see points. At the end.
For sure they do.
So I don't think that's a Chiefs questionable ref call. Blah blah blah. The one though later in the game, and I can't course, I can't remember if this was fourth quarter. I'm assuming it was. I can't remember if it was Kincaid. It was 86. I can't remember if that's in Kincaid or not.
Yep.
Or
80.
Not
Knox
getting, not
is
getting the
88.
first down, but he looked really close.
Oh.
Dog. Like that. I mean, yes, you got a ref on the line. Like he's gonna have
Yeah.
better sight than literally anybody else.
Well, they had that also, the
But
fourth down
dude.
play. The fourth down play was another big one, too.
The Josh Allen.
The
play.
Josh Allen one.
So that one, I think that's tough. I think his body, sure, but I don't think the ball ever crossed. You know what I mean?
It was
On
close,
the Josh Allen play.
but it was more interesting that they didn't take the spot of the ref with the ball on that side. They took the ref spot from the guy with his back to him.
This is a great catch, by the way, by Holland.
Oh, that was a great throw,
he had
too.
a great season, by the way.
Sneaky.
Holland did, yeah.
But would you consider him a number one?
No, absolutely not.
You know?
But go get a number one and pair him. You know,
And do you feel like Coleman's a number one?
he talks the big talk like he is, but he has. For me, he hasn't done enough. You know, and I was a big fan of him because he left Michigan State, but.
And Shakir, he's the little slot guy. Like, I don't think he's a true
He's not
number
consistent
one.
enough, Shakir.
See,
But he'll go off.
he will.
He'll go off for a game or two, you know what I mean? But like I don't think he's consistent enough.
But James Cook had a great year. He looks the lead. Like, so, I mean, for
Are
a
they gonna
Bills fan,
re-sign him because I think he's in due for a.
I mean, I think he would.
contract?
I feel like he should get paid for what he's done for that team. Yeah, I think that's probably year 4 for him.
Gosh, I think he's due for a contract.
But I don't know exactly where they're at salary cap wise. Joel did.
Joe left us a comment. Okay.
Joel, get on here.
Awesome.
Say what up.
Yeah, Joe. Well, Joe will straight up tell you I don't watch football, but if you want me to come on and tell you about McLaren F1, you could probably do that.
You really rip off a whole
at a pretty high
preseason
level.
here in a
Yeah.
5 minute.
Yeah.
He's good. He's probably got it printed out already.
Hey, I
He's good at
understand.
it though.
I
It's-
understand.
I like the storytelling of it.
I can't access this for some reason. I'm inept.
So everybody out there, if we there's an F1 podcast too. That also, so if you're
Shameless plug.
if you're a racing fan, check it out.
Yeah, Fast Laps. That's our Formula One episode or show. Excuse me.
If you scroll down on the YouTube, it'll be there.
Yeah, go check it out. What's up? There. Oh yeah, that's right. There is a playlist for that.
It's like a buffet of videos.
A buffet of videos. Anyway, yeah, Chiefs getting the win, going to the bowl again for the third year in a row, trying to win it for the third year in a row, which would be an NFL record. I really don't want to get into the Shield and script and but it just feels weird. Like, don't get me wrong, they're good. Like, the Chiefs are good. Like, there's a good chance they're one of the final 4 teams. Without
every
any
year.
controversy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They absolutely have a dynasty built in Kansas City. But I didn't feel they were as dominant, and that's why, like, once we get to the Super Bowl, the big game show next week.
Yeah, at the Superdome is what you meant to say.
The big game at the Superdome.
yeah.
Yeah, next week. I think I'm gonna have some interesting things to say in favor of more or less the Eagles, but we'll see.
Little
We'll
teaser
see. And
out there.
And I've been on the Chiefs bandwagon as far as picks go with them.
I mean,
I don't know.
Or are we just looking at greatness and we like to throw rocks at shiny
course.
things?
Of course, look at the Patriots. Look at Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Of course.
It's like Michael Jordan, but if you want to go back, it's just love to hate on the greatness, and you want to see something different. But also, are you ever going to see this again?
Oh, not 3 in a row.
It's never been done before.
I don't think in our lifetime. Yeah. So that's where, like, part of me does want the Chiefs to win just for the history aspect. Like, that's cool. And then, God willing, I get blessed with a child. They end up asking me about, oh my gosh, the Chiefs were so good back then. And I can be like, yeah, because it was them and the refs, and blah, blah,
Yeah.
But no, but
Oh,
seriously,
Dad.
but yeah. But seriously though, even if they win it, everybody's gonna say it's always gonna be in the conversation, right? It's always gonna be in the conversation. But at the end of the day, on paper, the Chiefs should still be making a deep run, and they, you know what I mean. So
I had them in the
And Patrick Mahomes
AFC
is-
Championship. So like every year, I think everyone's, yes.
Sorry,
No, go
go
ahead.
for it. I'm just feeling myself, I guess. But Dang, now I lost my thought. I guess I'm not feeling myself. Darn it. Oh, okay. Before this season even started, is Patrick Mahomes HOF for you already with 2 Super Bowls? And
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
For sure, he's HOF at this point. I mean, Eli Manning's HOF. He's got 2 Super Bowl wins.
100%. That's for sure.
Better question though. How about this? Do you believe Matt Stafford is HOF?
Oh yeah. But I think his Super Bowl win cements him. I think he was questionable before it, but I think the fact that he ended up getting, at least 1 Super Bowl, dude. I think Matt look, the stats he was putting up on a piss poor Lions team he had Megatron. Nate Burleson had a couple years there that were pretty good. There's another receiver. Galladay, maybe? Kenny Galladay? He had like 1 good year. But whatever.
No, he had a couple of years, and then he went to the Giants and
signed a huge deal and did
huge
nothing.
Deal.
But you know what I
peace.
mean? I think so. I think Stafford should be HOF.
Oh, I think for sure he's HOF. It was just I saw an interesting debate about it. About is he? How do you actually value?
So okay, sorry.
How do you value HOF? Is it the stats? Is it the Super Bowl wins?
It's a mixture, but I think you have to at least have one Super Bowl. You know what I mean? For me,
so does Joe Flacco get one then? HOF?
He's got a Super Bowl.
He's got a Super Bowl.
But no, I don't know. That's a tough one. But along those lines, right? If Jared
the funny part, we just said Super Bowl like 30 times.
but along those lines, if Jared Goff would have won the Super Bowl this year, is he HOF now? No. Just because you win one, sure, but that's why I think it's a mixture.
Yeah, that's a tough balance.
In comparison to the rest of the league that same year, though, you got to look year by year what they were doing in comparison with the rest of the league. Were they putting MVP numbers up every single season, or was they had a really good 3-year run.
And they're not HOF because of it.
You know what I mean?
I mean, Stafford. I mean, if you just look at
he has more than 3 years run.
Yeah, for sure he had more than 3. And the Super Bowl probably was the icing on the cake of him actually getting into the Hall of Fame. Like
Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen right now, both for me borderline because of no Super Bowl. We know they're putting up the stats, but again, in comparison with the other quarterbacks in the league, with each other, Patrick Mahomes.
But it would be different. So for both Lamar and Josh, if they win one, they're in, right? Then, because their careers
if compared to if Jared Goff won one, yeah, I would think so. They've both been putting up MVP numbers. Goff's had he had at least one good year where he was considered for the MVP, I believe. But
this is second year in the Rams.
Yeah, when he just went off.
Yeah,
the Rams went off, but
that ton, 30 minutes. That's not bad.
We're at 30 minutes right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we should wrap this because we went on a tangent about quarterbacks. But we'll have to come back to that. During this off season. So
hey, it's
if you have
good
any
banter.
Ideas for off season shows too, drop them in. You never know. We might use it. Maybe you want to be on. Who knows? But with that, yeah. Again, Chiefs getting the win, 32-29, and a heartbreaker against the Bills. Coming up short again against Patrick Mahomes. That's what that reporter said to Josh Allen, too.
Yeah.
He's like, how do you feel about coming up short? What are your emotions right now coming up short again? Dude, step off, fam. Oh, gosh. Anyway, where are we at now? Dang, we should print off the documents. We always print them off. And I forgot. That's my bad. That's not you, Kev. That's me.
And I told him to, too.
Well, I forgot, though. I forgot. Okay, well, he'll blame you, I guess. So our tent talk segment. We have no injuries that we haven't already mentioned. Obviously, Brandon Graham trying to come back. Landon Dickerson right now is a big question mark.
Yep.
It'd be a big loss for Philly.
Other than that, I think everyone's pretty much healthy-ish across the board.
Kind of on both teams, right?
So
Pacheco's still okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Coaching news, though. Lots of things.
Some movement.
Lots of things. The first one, let me just pull up this because this is just an absolute... This is just insane here.
Like a brain teaser? What do we got going on
here? Yeah, Liam Cohen.
Ooh, interesting.
New head coach for the Jaguars. Just a wild thing, right? So just listen to this. So this is from Football Forever, but this information was available to everybody. So Doug Peterson is fired in Jacksonville. The GM, Trent Baalke, was retained, but then the Jags expressed interest in Ben Johnson and Cohen, but neither are interested because of the GM. Mm-hmm. So Buccaneers decide to offer Cohen to be one of the highest paid OCs in the league, but they put in their verbiage to prohibit him from going and taking another interview specifically with the Jaguars.
Ooh.
Which you can't do that when it's a promotional job in the rules of the NFL.
All
so
right.
mistake. But let's see. And then the owner of Jacksonville decides to fire the GM. So now Cohen's interested again because that was like his only squabble. He's like, I'm not.
Ooh.
No. So now he goes. He agrees to the deal, and then dude gets fired. The GM gets fired. So now Cohen ghosts Todd Bowles, head coach of Tampa Bay, and goes to Jacksonville for another interview, which violates the Tampa Bay's conditions of his contract that may or may not have been signed at the time. It's all really weird.
Is this all really fresh right here?
This has been out for this is maybe Friday this came out.
Okay, all right, so it's a little bit old.
Yeah, a little bit old. I'm sure everybody's already heard of it.
No,
but
I
taking
haven't,
you
though.
through the timeline.
I haven't heard this timeline, so that's why I'm surprised I haven't heard anything, or if anything has came out of it.
This was the big lie, right? So Bowles finally gets in contact with Cohen
What's up, Jenna?
at like 5 p.m. and then he tells Bowles that he's at a doctor's appointment with his kid. He's in Jacksonville.
This is like some OC Orange
Dude.
County stuff, huh?
Dude. Yeah. And now, but then he briefly kind of mentions like, "Whoa, I'm gonna probably circle back with Jacksonville." And then he ends up signing with Jacksonville. Now, Liam Cohen is now the head coach of Jacksonville. Bunch of controversy.
Duval.
Do you blame him though? Teams could let I
No,
don't.
I
I
would
don't
take
really
the-
blame him at all. And if it's the rule states like you can't prevent somebody from taking a promotional interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Other than the
Teams can fire you tomorrow.
exactly.
Minnesota, we all
Go
live
get your
in
bag.
a at-will state. We could get fired tomorrow. I
Yeah.
hope my owners aren't watching this, but we could all get fired tomorrow, right? With no explanation. And that's kind of how they treat coaches and players alike, right? But so I don't blame him at all. And it's like a $9 million difference per year. So I mean, go get your bag, right?
Go get your bag, and if it's your dream to be a head coach and you have the opportunity,
Why do you not take that? You know what I mean? So
go get it. You know.
now ghosting Bulls, whatever. That's going to be, I don't agree with that per se, but
Well, I'm assuming they had that conversation. Hopefully,
you would by now you would think so.
you know. So
Yeah, but
I get it. You know.
so other coaching news: Pete Carroll returns
Awesome. Just awesome.
in Vegas.
70.
Him and Max Crosby were already chopping it up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw the beast mode there. It was there too.
was he?
Yeah. He
Oh, I
visited.
did not see
Yeah,
Beast Mode
yeah,
was there.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was
See,
he- doesn't he live in Vegas? I
Probably-
can't remember.
he
I think
owns
he lives
Vegas.
in yeah. Aaron Glenn indeed takes the Jets head coaching job. They were adamant they were not going to let him leave the building, and they did not.
They
So
didn't. It was a perfect spot for him with that defensive skill set.
I thought you were against it at first.
Why would I be against it?
I can't remember. I'm going to look back. Unless one of our guests were against it, but
Yeah,
can't
I'm gonna go with
remember.
that. I mean, it was Robert Saleh. He was a defensive coach too. Which remember we were talking last week how surprised that
Robert.
he didn't get enough out of that defense at all.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, and Aaron Glenn says he's going to be bringing some people with him from Detroit via trade or free agency, but I don't see that happening via trade, but maybe free agency if anybody's leaving. I didn't see, if anybody was leaving Detroit side. Detroit fans chirp up here if somebody is leaving.
I think they got offensive linemen. They got a couple guys that are leaving.
Jenna asking where's the Super Bowl party at.
Ooh,
I would like
the barn party maybe.
We do need to throw one. Are you throwing one?
We're debating
You're
on
debating.
it. Jenna, it's TBD. You'll get an invite if that's what happens.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
You talking to Jenna? Go for it.
No, it was just BYOB, your own chairs at this point.
Okay. You might be by yourself in the.
No, we got plenty of booze.
Let's see. Cowboys' new head coach Brian. How do you even say it? Schottenheimer? That seems right. Brian Schottenheimer, promoted from the OC role, and Eberflus was also just hired today as a new DC. Jerry, after hiring Brian, came out and said, quote, "This is as big of a risk as you can take." That's kind of a weird thing to say after you hired him. I mean,
Yeah, that's very
no
odd.
sense.
Where
in-
did Eberflus go?
He's the DC now for the Cowboys.
Okay.
I don't hate it.
But they don't have a head coach yet.
This dude right here, Brian Schottenheimer.
Oh, he
was their OC, and he's been
Oh,
promoted
I
now
guess
to
I
be.
missed that whole thing. I was kind of
be-
spacing
yeah,
out
yeah,
for
yeah.
half a
It's
second
okay.
while you were
You're not
talking
listening
there.
to me at all, like live and all that. And Rob's just not even here.
Well, I was
he's
thinking.
back in wherever you went.
You said Everflew, and I just my mind it was just like, oh, I wonder.
Wonder where he went.
Well, exactly.
No, I'm just playing. Let's see.
And my cold thing was empty, so I had to figure out how to replace that. Was more at the top of my mind.
You know who else got a new job?
Santa Claus.
Robert.
Sala?
Not you. Yeah, he is now the DC in San Francisco,
He's back.
which is a good fit. That's going to be. I mean,
That's interesting.
San Fran could flip it. Now they got other issues. I really like to talk to a San Francisco fan. Actually, please.
Yeah.
If there's any San Francisco fans out there, are you concerned at all about what's going on in
Yeah.
San Francisco?
David
There's some
Rodriguez, where you
contract
at?
Things like we need to hear some San Francisco talk because I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Morton, new OC in Detroit. He's a former passing game assistant in Denver. Let's see. Detroit also promotes. I actually really like this. Promotes their linebackers coach to be the new DC.
You talking about that video?
Dude, that's a great move.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. He's sitting there. He was on Hard Knocks a couple years ago, and he's talking about Rodriguez, Rodriguez, about just that Rudy determination, just getting after it. It's
I'll start a rookie over. I'll start.
It's great. Just watching, looking at those. The first teamers' faces going, oh, man, this rookie's just coming in here and making us look bad. Remind me of Rudy.
He played great.
He has been playing well.
I didn't see him as much this year, I feel like, Rodriguez.
I feel like he's kind of like their Ivan Pace, more the running down scenario.
Dennis Allen, Bears' new DC. I like that as well for the Bears. Declan Doyle is their new OC. I don't know him. Do you know Declan? You have his number?
Is he from the Doyle family? Doyle.
According to his last name.
Doyle?
Yeah.
Is that Back to the Future?
Doyle. What is that
Doyle's
from?
rules? Billy Madison.
Madison.
Doyle rules.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
There it is. Joel, what up, buddy?
There we go.
He's a Vikings fan.
Dennis Allen, Bears' new DC. Oh, I already mentioned that. One line below that, Seahawks hire Saints OC Clint Kubiak as their new OC. We know him.
Yeah.
Good luck. Okay.
Good luck. Moving on.
Let's see. Okay, now.
He wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no. Let's see. If you've received the link from us, please click on that now. If you want to come in here and say your piece about your team, Kev will let you in.
Hop on, Joel.
We'd really like to hear from
There's a
anybody.
link on there.
Joel, if you're a Vikes fan, let's hear from you, buddy. But until we get somebody, we'll just talk Vikings until somebody doesn't want to hear about the Vikings anymore, and then go from there. So, elephant in the room.
Ooh, I like
Elephant in the room. Samuel Darnold.
He gone.
He needs to go.
Well, he does.
What's your plan then? Okay, if you do not bring back Samuel,
What
is your plan? You're starting JJ all in?
Well, it's JJ, and either you do. I like Daniels on a Darnold deal, or
Daniel Jones.
Or you. It's really interesting. Someone had a kind of a take on Sam. If you did an $18 million more 1-year deal and be like, all right, open competition again at training camp.
So you're signing Samuel Darnold. Okay. I'm not
Or like 20, like 20. But if you start getting to the 30, 40 range.
Just for a tryout.
Just for a tryout. And we got $70 million on our salary
what
cap.
What did the Bears pay Nick Foles?
Ooh.
That was like a 2-year fat deal to sit on the bench after 3 games or something.
Yeah, Big D.
So that's what. Big D Nick. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. With the whole Samuel Darnold. We have every reason to be happy and content with what he did for us this season when we should have been doing nothing. We being the Vikings. Obviously, I'm on the squad. But we saw what he was doing in the playoffs, and it's not all on the O-line for me. A lot of those sacks. He just holds on to the ball so long. And it's like that Detroit game wasn't good, and then he turned around and did the exact same thing in the playoffs. I mean, it was almost identical game for him.
And
so that's the concern for me. Now, if we would have saw any sort of bounce back, like a little bit, we lose on some fluke thing, oh, well, you know what I mean? But
it was kind of interesting. I remember back, what's up? Oh, Joel.
This is what happened to TJ this year.
Underused.
Well, he was injured forever.
Yeah,
too,
I don't feel
TJ,
like
but
Joel. I don't think he was fully healthy. Like towards the end of the year, I still think he was. I mean, I think
he didn't play till week 8, 9.
Yeah, I feel like he like maybe finished at 85%, 90%, maybe. Like he still didn't look super comfortable. There was that
I mean,
one.
if he's only at 85%, I wouldn't have wanted him out.
I think it was that Lions game.
Josh Oliver was injured too.
There was that seam route. Even Sam threw it high, but I just
that's a ball he comes down with.
well, I
though.
just didn't feel like if
Typically.
a healthy, he would have got a little bit like closer. I thought. I don't know. The ball was way too high. So,
It's a great point, Joel. Though, like they absolutely got to get Hawk back involved in
I
that
agree.
offense next year, and hopefully with him coming into the season healthy, like that's going to make a big difference.
I agree. Another full, Alpha coming off a tough ACL blowout, or I mean,
I mean, he's absolutely going to be your best safety blanket outside of Jay Jettas, but your biggest safety blanket for JJ McCarthy next year if he's going to be your starting quarterback.
yeah. I'm fine with. We need a new guard, left or right. We definitely need an upgrade there. If we go and get
Are you looking in the draft for that? Or
well,
is there a free
no.
agent
Well,
that
this
you
is
like?
kind of how I view it. If we pick up one of the top end free agents at guard, then I'm okay with keeping Bradbury, and then maybe at drafting in the later rounds an interior. But also on the other side, I'd like another D tackle, and then our secondary needs some bunch of help.
We'll talk about our defense here in a second. Kev, we might have somebody that wants to hop in. No. Oh, Joel.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
when he came back, it just didn't seem like he was fully healthy. But I also don't.
Or
That's
is that Sam just not?
that's
seeing
all.
them
That's
too,
what I was
you
gonna
know
get to.
what I
Bet
mean?
he
Like,
didn't do a training
Are you a
camp with him.
Sam Darnold fan, Joel? How did you feel about his play this year?
Yeah, I don't. They didn't build that rapport during training camp, and I don't.
Sure.
That's. Just
Well, timing's a factor, though. Timing the routes and I mean, that is a
Yeah.
factor. But
you're coming in week 8. You're getting minimum practice time. To actually get your timing down. And I just don't think he ever became that safety blanket that we saw, especially with Kurt last or 2 years ago now, or would it be last year?
Kirk?
We're still in the same year, so it'd be last year.
Yeah, it was
Kurt.
last year.
So, but yeah, because he had, especially with JJ out, it was all Hawkinson the whole time, which ended up probably getting him hurt at the end of the day. But so,
Perfect.
Joel, say anything about Mr. Samuel Darnold?
So, Kev, how much time do we have here before our video is cut off
I'm not seeing actually telling me we have a cut because there's nobody else on the call.
with this current Google? Oh, okay. So, okay.
Do you want to call in and talk to us from there?
Uh,
I can get my mom on the phone real quick. She'll break down some hot dishes.
Case Keenum Jr.
yeah, that's fair. Case Keenum Jr. I'd give him at least a better grade than Keenum. Keenum's definitely
Well,
felt
skill
a little
set
bit more
wise,
luck.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But
Mental. Well, Case is probably the other way. Case probably had better mental and less physical skills versus Sam has all the physical skills, and the mental part is where he gets a little shaky.
I would agree with that. I'm trying to remember Case in the pocket. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some Case.
He
Keenum
just looked
footage
like
just for the heck
Drew
of it.
Brees in there, just
I
a
know,
little
just
guy in there.
Little guy slinging it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he led he went to Houston. I think he has NCAA records for passing yards, Case Keenum. So the guy can sling the ball.
he either still does or did. I can't remember if he still does or not. But
For you NCAA 2025 players. He's trying to set that record one year. 45 minutes that we can't get back. Sorry. If you've been
that
watching
nobody
us
can get back. That's
last
been watching
45
us.
minutes.
Again, please join. Please join. If you don't have the link or have access to the link, DM our Facebook page or hit us up here on
Yeah.
YouTube. Throw it in the comments somewhere.
Find us on X too.
Are you fully out on like Trey Smith as a option? I feel like he's gonna be a high dollar guy, but he's gonna be more of like middle to middle high end player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not quite like I'm not quite fully sold on him, but he's set to get paid.
Have we heard what Harrison Smith's going to do yet?
No, and his name is Javon Holland. I was right.
Devon Holland out of Miami.
That's who I like to replace. He's played for Flores before. That's who I'd like to replace Harry if Harry can't come back. And
How
even
do you
if
feel? Okay.
Because like I don't think Metellus I like Metellus because he's a hard-hitting safety.
He's a
but
rover. He's a rover.
Exactly. He's that rover. He's like that between linebacker and safety player. And
Yeah, he doesn't have the hips to play
100%,
DB in the NFL.
100%. And we saw. I'll never forget that play where he flipped his
Down
for
the
no reason. Like I can't. But so I don't think he could replace Harry. I don't.
What's your feelings on Cam Bynum? I know he's a great choreographer, dancer, YouTube sensation, but
If Harry stays, then we can get rid of Bynum if we're replacing him with the likes of like Javon Holland, because that's the only
Okay.
issue with Javon Holland, right? I think he's similar to Bynum's skill set, right? We
oh, you think Bynum's at that level?
well, as far as like his archetype, if you will,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
like
Like it, faster, more agile, not a hard hitter, right? Harry's gonna try to come and blow you up.
Well,
right?
yeah.
So I kind of think you need one of each, you know, unless.
But
you're
Harry
blessed
plays
having
strong
both, but-
safety versus free safety.
Correct, and I think Holland could come in and play either one.
Yeah, he's
but
a
I think,
hybrid.
But I think he's a better free than he is strong. But he could come in and play strong safety.
I guess well that's what's nice about Beeflo's defense is that it's so interchangeable. But also the good news after all these coaching things you just read through, it looks like
Beeflo's here to
he's
stay
here.
for
He's
at least
staying.
another year, so that's awesome.
You know.
And I think that's going to help with all this money that the Vikings also have in free agency. They obviously hit home runs last year with Grenard, Van Ginkel. I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those are absolutely home runs in free agency. We have no corners right now other than one. I think he's injured still.
Well, we have last year's Blackman.
I think he'll still be under contract. I
And-
think.
Did Evans?
Shaq Griffin is 1 year deal. Gilmore 1 year deal.
Yeah, well,
Murphy's due for a contract.
Yeah.
Which I think you called it. I think the Vikings will overpay
We
to
will
keep
overpay.
Byron Murphy, which we have the money, so I don't hate it.
True, we will
Draft
overpay
one.
for him.
Hopefully, but like the Vikings also have one. They have the first round draft pick, and then they have like 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. That's
Yeah,
it.
we don't have a lot of
That's
draft
it.
capital because we lost our second with Cam Robinson, right?
That
Big-
that sounds right.
Or your third, somewhere in there. Yeah, so our draft capital is low. So, yeah, we got some holes to fill, which at least we have money, you know.
You know what the word on the street is, though?
What?
That Addison could be moved for like a second and third or a second and fourth. Is that worth it? We
so,
know what we're getting out of Addison.
So this is
already.
Addison's will be his third year coming up. So
Yeah, he's under contract for next season.
we have two. Well, and then we have a team option fifth because he's a first round draft pick. So
Chris Godwin, you know, he's a free agent. That's an option for the Vikings. T. Higgins should not be an option for the Vikings. Let's not
I
go
like Cooper
overpay
Kupp
him.
more to the
He's
Vikings
an
as our
option,
slot
potential
versus.
option.
I mean, Godwin's more of a. Well, he's a slot
Amari
too.
Cooper's also going to be a free agent.
Yeah, I don't know if we need a deep threat to stretch the defense, and then we need a slot,
Bring on Diggs back, right?
and then a running
But
back.
you're gonna,
we need a running back
lot
too.
Well, and I like your idea of taking running back in the draft if they can fill at least one, if not two, interior line positions. Because sorry, Bradbury's not getting it done anymore. We know that.
Well, but he's better than both guards, wouldn't you say?
Oh, gosh,
Or what
All
guard do you
three of
like
them.
better? Do you like Ingram? Do you like Reisner? Do you like Bradbury?
Reisner didn't play bad once he came back this year, but I don't like any of them.
I know, but if you had to pick who's the best one out of it, you'd
Who's
probably
their
go.
backup again? Quisenberry? No, he's backup tackle.
Yeah,
Brandel?
Brandel.
He's
He
their
played. Well,
backup.
he played too, and then that's where I think Reisner came in for him,
Mm.
or Ingram.
Yeah, I guess if you look
So
at it that way,
Bradbury's
I'll
the
take
best of the
Bradbury
three.
out of the- I wonder
So-
if but if we went and got but if the Vikings went out and got a
Later, Joel, buddy.
top tier center, what if you moved Bradbury to guard? You think that'd be any better? I wonder if he's played any
Ooh.
guard in his life.
That'd be an interesting conversation because I think
Because
that
we had that.
there's a
cen-
couple
There was that
centers
center
out
that
there.
we had out of Alabama, and this is like 5-6 years ago. Can't remember who he was. Played 1 year, played well, but they moved him to guard, and then he played really well, and then never heard from him again. But so I think it's possible.
Well, that'd be the
Do you think he
position
would
where you could do it.
excel in that any better?
No, because his size is not going to get any bigger.
Right.
And I think in the NFL to play guard,
You just gotta be big.
you got to be
big
bigger.
fella.
I think you can get away if any position would be center. A little
Well,
undersized.
Kelsey showed us that.
Yeah.
He's not that big. He's like what 6'1", 2.
Yeah, no, but
I don't even think
he had
was over
tree
3.
trunks for legs, so.
Oh no, he was strong. Don't get me wrong. He kicked my ass, But
I don't know. Maybe we should hit him up.
no, I'm good.
You're good.
With the force I saw him throw that cell phone down of that whipping out of that guy's hand on the ground. I'm good. I don't need to see that.
I want to have a beer with Kelsey.
Is that okay? There you go.
I think it would be fun. Even Travis would be.
So
fun.
we can. Don't get me wrong. We can circle back to the Vikes here. If we get no guests though, we'll just wrap it. But I just figured we'd open it up tonight, see if anybody wants to come in and give us their take on their squads here and what they should be doing this off season.
And it's also a nice little system test for us. Get the
100% because we could absolutely do this again. So if you're just a little nervous tonight and you message us after and hey, if you do it again, let me know. That's cool too. Let us know.
Scared. I know. All those Lions fans still mourning.
Dang, at D'Angelo.
Also Alex Johnson. And that Kramer kid.
I'm just looking at some of the other top free agents. Interesting thing about the Steelers.
Which way did they go on quarterback?
Rooney came out and said he'd keep either one. And it's kind of in Mike Tomlin's hands is kind of what he said. So found that interesting today.
Which one do you want? Which one do you want?
Well, I know you hate Justin Fields. Well, don't hate him. You're just not a fan.
He's not a franchise quarterback. If I'm a team that needs a quarterback, I take him.
Okay, well, you're not signing Russell Wilson or Justin Fields in 2025 to be your franchise quarterback right now. Now, I still believe that Justin Fields has some upside. I know you just don't see it.
I mean,
but you've gone more in depth with it, so.
Yeah, it's just back to the passing. I think, he can win you some games. I mean, I think he's a better than average NFL quarterback, but
career backup guy, bounce around a little bit,
or just that 500. Maybe he'll go 10-6 one year, but he'll go 6-10 the next year. I think he's got enough skill set running the ball that he's always going to be a threat on the NFL field. But it's whether his arm, and I think he would be really good at the running game. And that's where I think he's excelled in Pittsburgh a little bit, is that they ran the ball a lot.
So you re-signed them both, and now you just put him in the backfield instead of not.
Are they both going to want to re-sign, though?
I mean, that's a good
question. If I was Fields, I'm like, let's go somewhere else.
But who? Okay, where would?
I mean, if they're going to sign Wilson,
purple, would you take Fields here to challenge McCarthy? No, you're just that far out on him.
I
would, but that's me.
I mean, I could see him going to Seattle if they don't get a quarterback. I could see.
Didn't they extend Geno Smith this year?
Yeah, but they sign him for a 1-year try backup.
Yeah. But you think that's what he's going to get, though, is only like a 1-year deal to be a backup to somebody else.
Well, I'm trying to think
or
where would he go?
Challenge a guy like Trevor Lawrence, but Mac Jones is there.
Yeah, he's not going to beat Trevor Lawrence, though, I don't think.
I would doubt it, but Trevor also doesn't look awesome.
I'm trying to think what other teams where you could actually compete. Cleveland.
Oh, I didn't think about Cleveland. Their quarterback needs.
I don't think the Saints would take him. I don't know what's up with David Carr. That scenario, it's
not working. It's not working, and Carr's just. I'm done with Carr.
I don't think
more than just the Saints.
I don't think San Francisco would take him. I don't think Shanahan would like that style. He likes a little more. He does a little timing things, but he's also likes to run those deep, long, in-cutting anticipation throw.
What about like Tennessee? Does Tennessee take a chance on a guy like Justin
I could see him go to Tennessee. Why not
rather
for a year
Will
try?
Levis,
I mean,
so
I still
you
think
don't draft a quarterback this year if you're Tennessee. If you were to sign a guy like Justin Fields, opening it up to sign plenty of other pieces that Tennessee needs.
I think Tennessee's going to trade that pick. I mean,
isn't the worst idea in the world either.
Is Cam Ward really exciting the fan base enough? I don't think there's enough clout on him via just where the fan base is exactly, and true NFL or people that have been paying attention knew this draft class is going to be not as good as last year's. And like we were saying probably last week,
that's why people are
JJ
McCarthy.
He would go number 1 this year if he came out,
and that's why people are saying the Vikings could get offered 2 firsts for JJ McCarthy. I'm not taking that if the alternative is to sign Sam Darnold then for a 2-3 year deal. and then trade J.J. McCarthy, like,
I would need 3 1s then, or I need 2 1s and
I don't think
a
3 ones is
second.
going to happen for an unproven. 2 ones is even a lot for an unproven quarterback.
Fair. I would not disagree with you, but
You know,
like that, I mean, I would feel like I would
But
have
if you need
the
one this
leverage.
year-
I would have the leverage in the deal,
Oh,
and my ask would be
for sure,
aggressively high.
for sure. Oh man, that's tough.
But other than that, I feel like there's like last year there were six rookie. How many? Daniels, Penix,
Yeah,
5,
six. No, I think there were 6. Daniels, Penix, McCarthy,
Knicks.
Knicks. Yep. And then wasn't there one more?
Well, it was May. So Daniels May 5. Wait, no, 6. Yeah.
There's got to be another
There's
one
6.
there. Who are we forgetting?
No,
Then?
so it's Williams, Daniels.
Caleb. Yeah, Caleb, yeah.
So there's 6 teams with 1-year quarterbacks that probably don't need a quarterback.
Right.
So I think that free agent market is a little interesting. So, and there's
Well,
also
they're all
a,
going to be trying to just put talent around them. So T. Higgins will find it. T. Higgins is going to get paid a lot.
I could see him in Carolina, Jacksonville.
Well, okay. Well, let's see who's got money really quick.
New England has a ton of money. But it's really interesting. And let's talk about money right now. Is if you look at the Patrick Mahomes deal now, and like every year the NFL salary cap goes up, I don't know, $10-15 million for the TV rights.
Mm-hmm.
So his contract in about 2 years is going to look like they're paying him Brock Purdy money.
I know.
Like the 10-year deal that they just stole. I mean, Mahomes is getting paid. He's living a great life. But on the aspect of the salary cap, he's going to be the 15th, 20th highest paid quarterback in about 2 or 3 years. Especially after this class of 6. Let's say 3 of them.
Yeah, when these ones start getting paid.
Yeah.
If they do at least, I want to say, if they can all do better than what Trevor Lawrence is doing right now, they're all going to get a bag, and that'll reset the market. Could you imagine?
Exactly.
When they're all going to need a deal.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get let go. If they do well, I feel like somebody will not make it, or they're all going to bid each other out of. Somebody's going to get bid out of a job somehow or something. Like we just can't afford that.
So right now,
that's crazy. I didn't even think about those quarterbacks signing their first.
if
deal.
you had to predict now,
my
seeing
gosh.
everyone's first year, who's 1 and 2 going to be the bust out of the quarterbacks?
Out of those 6,
Yep.
well, I'm
All
gonna really hope it's not J.J. McCarthy if he's
Fair.
still in purple. But who's gonna be the busts? I think Drake May. I was never high on him. I hated that the Vikings were really high on him.
I loved him.
I'm not a Drake May fan right now.
But it's almost like, I guess, set the standards what a bust is. Just non-playoff contended,
The worst of the 6. You'd be a bust if you're the worst quarterback of those 6. Unless
Fair.
I guess you go on to win the Super Bowl, but that's already 6 quarterbacks that are better than you. On
Yeah.
top of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, the list goes on. So
You're going Drake May if you had to throw a name out there right now?
I'd like to see what Penix can do with a whole season starting.
True, we
Same,
didn't
with, same with McCarthy, right? We have no idea.
Yeah.
McCarthy could absolutely be that bust.
Yeah.
McCarthy, coming from a running school, he didn't have
Yeah.
to throw the ball to win a national championship, but he's out here signing camera lenses and crap. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
Or does Bo Nix, regress?
I don't think it's going to be Caleb Williams.
You don't? I don't think it is either.
I really don't.
I was sitting there just thinking about it. I'm like, I don't.
Just wait. I cannot.
You can't wait for Ben Johnson.
Low key, I can't wait to see what Ben Johnson can do with Caleb Williams. And I hate to say that because the Vikings are in the division. And if the Vikings don't figure out their quarterback situation in the next 2 years, look for JJ to be traded because we're not going to be able to compete in our own division.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
You know what I mean? I think the Packers will figure it out. Whether or not Jordan Love's the guy for them, I have no idea. Jordan Love did not look great in the playoffs this year, like for a guy that should be starting to take those steps now and try to be getting the Packers over that hump for me, but now I'm jumping all over the place.
Well, the receiver
What
core
was the
got kind of
original
banged
question?
up.
What were we talking about?
What?
Oh, we're talking about quarterback. Oh, the 6 quarterbacks. Which one's going to be a bust?
All right, another last question here.
Probably. Yeah,
Wow.
we should wrap this
We're
thing.
getting about an hour
We should
deep.
wrap this thing. We'll be back next week.
What do you think the size? How many people will attend the Super Bowl this year?
How many people will attend the Super Bowl?
at the Superdome.
Well, How many people does it sit?
I know. Just think. I don't know. Take a guess.
Okay, let's see. Superdome.
I just figured it was gonna be bigger. Is more what I'm getting at.
I feel like the Superdome, without Googling, with all the technology in front of me here, I feel like the Superdome only seats like 60,000 or something, and then you'll get probably like another
Standing room,
2,000 or 3,000.
71,000 is
Is
where
it
it's at.
71?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Because you said it thought it was smaller than you thought, so I was like, it's got to be 60. Then.
yeah, I just
It's
figured.
like big for me, big stadium, that's 70,000 for sure.
Well, but you go
for
through
the USA.
Yeah, but you go through like college stadiums, and they're like,
Oh, that's not comparable.
I know, but
for
why
me.
don't we?
Not
How
comparable.
about this?
I
Why,
wish,
why
dude.
don't we play them at college stadiums now? Because
Did
well,
you-
they do.
did you
They
see
have the
the
Rose
crowd-
Bowl.
Did you see the crowd in Carolina though? If the NFL team's not doing anything, like at least if Michigan sucks, the Big House is.
Yeah, but that'll be
150%
Michigan in the
full.
winter, so they wouldn't want that. But like the Rose, they do. The Rose Bowl is the one place they do it, and that holds 103,000.
Yeah,
So that's
there's
30,000 more.
multiple stadiums in college that hold over 100,000. It's insane. I'd love to go to one sometime, just for Banter with the boys from
Yeah.
Texas A&M or something.
But the next 3 Super Bowls, you know where they're at?
Let's see.
I'll give you a
Well,
hint.
SoFi was last year, right?
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Dang. No. Lay it on me. So Superdome.
SoFi is another one.
Oh,
They're
gosh.
coming back.
Of course they are.
Then Levi Stadium. So 2 California teams, and then
Best weather though. That's the thing.
I get, and then Atlanta back
then
into
Atlanta.
into the.
So wait a minute. Didn't Atlanta just have one?
Yeah,
So Atlanta gets a second one before
And
Minneapolis
SoFi.
gets another
and
one?
SoFi.
SoFi unfortunately makes sense. Like it's California,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. And I'm not hating on Atlanta. I'm trying to go to Atlanta. Actually, funny, I'm trying to go to Atlanta in August
Hot in
to
Atlanta.
meet up with all these guys that we've
Kids
been
are
playing.
saying.
We've been playing MLB The
Fortnite?
Show. No,
Oh.
no. MLB The Show since COVID, and they're all over the country, so
Yeah,
we're all going to meet
yeah.
in Atlanta. But,
Okay.
like, how's Mercedes? Everybody loved the Super Bowl here. Like, nobody hated on it. I mean, of course it was cold. But
It's.
it was all
I think it's
indoors.
logistically too. It's Atlanta's a big hub.
That's garbage.
And the weather.
I don't
I
care.
know.
Oh, it's the weather. Well, then we built an indoor stadium for why then if we can't host big events?
And all
Like,
those skyways.
So just and all those skyways. Literally, it's the longest indoor trail system in the world, I think. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going off on a tangent now. God.
It's all
That's
good.
That's annoying. Well, anyway, if you are still with us, thanks for joining our live show here on YouTube or Facebook. We'll do this again, absolutely again. If for whatever reason you decided you did not want to jump into this, let us know. Let's get you in next episode. Like seriously, if there's enough interest, we'll do it.
Yeah.
For Super Bowl next week. Otherwise, we'll just pick a couple of our regular guests we've had on all year and have them on for a Super Bowl preview. So don't forget to don't miss that.
Don't
That's
miss
what
it.
I'm telling
It'll be
you.
a big one.
Don't miss.
We're
that
gonna
one.
reveal
The big-
our
the
winners.
Big game.
The
The
big game. At the Superdome.
Yeah, again, one more shameless plug for the Fast Laps show we do, which is the Formula One show, which is coming back in March. So look for Fast Laps to return end of February, early March.
Maybe some hockey. We've talked about maybe doing a little hockey.
Maybe hockey in 25-26
Yeah.
season. I think we're pretty behind the ball in the hockey, but you never know. Just hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow the Facebook. Wherever you listen to the banner, whether it's
Follow
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Darn, I had another thing to say and it's gone. So with that, Rob, thanks for being here.
Thought you were
man.
gonna say you love me or something.
Well,
but
I
either way,
love you, Rob. Thanks for being here, buddy.
long time.
Yeah. With that, we'll see you guys next week for the big game preview.
Skull bye.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the Boys.